Namaskar. Hello and welcome to 𝗣𝗂𝘀𝗁 channel. I'm your host Sree Iyer. I'm with Col Ajay Raina and we are going to be talking about two important things. And the one is of course about Ladakh that I've already tweeted about. But there is a more important development that is happening. That is the CAA notification was issued 15 minutes ago. We'll be touching upon that. The main topic today is Ladakh because a lot of developments have taken place there. Let's welcome Col Raina. Colonel Saab, Namaskar. Ram Ram, how are you?
Namaskar, Ram Ram. Good evening, good morning. All well, 𝗠𝙗𝘅. Nice to see you again.
Thank you, sir. And always a pleasure talking to you. You are a great storyteller, and that shows in all our video hangout. And of course, you have written books. One morphs into the other naturally. Col Raina, we are about to witness this CAA being implemented, which means that there is going to be some kickback. Last time people immediately said that all Muslims are under threat. How do you think this government now is prepared to deal with that part?
𝗠𝙗𝘅, one good thing which has happened since passage of that act was that awareness has increased. Even if those who are saying that it is anti-Muslim or targeting one specific community, they also know that that's not the case. And while we waited patiently for this notification to come, I think there's a method to the madness. Because the way CAA Act was perceived, or kind of the propaganda which happened, and Shaheen Bagh happened, and the riots happened, possibly bringing out a notification at that time would have added on to the chaos. They're given a cooling time. And other way of looking at it, this is okay. In any case, we are expecting a lot of muck next 1 month. So if muck is around, why not? Let's do it. But whatever it is, it's come finally. So now that constitutional thing is over, and now execution will happen. Otherwise, till now, it all appeared to be something like half-hearted thing, lack of willpower. So it's a good step. And about 4 days back only, 𝗠𝙗𝘅, there was some issue with the Pakistani refugees in Delhi. They were told to vacate that area with the camping and all. So hopefully all this takes care of that, such issues. People who have left their countries, places of birth, and come to India, this notification will now help them settle, which is a great step for our civilization. I look at it as something like civilizational. It's not something very, very transactory, no.
Yes, indeed. Also, it's a small tidbit. Col Raina has been tweeting that you need to start thinking of dumping your 500 rupee notes for smaller denominations, 200s and 100. If that happens quickly, remember, it was first aired on YouTube first, and it was first tweeted out by Col Raina. We've been talking about this though. And I have also written in the book that you're seeing behind me, this came about 6 months ago, that 2000 will be gone and 500 will also be gone. And I've explained what will be the point at which 500 will go. Anyway, these are all important things, but most important thing, because Ladakh has not been covered by the mainstream media. Colonelji, let us start with a small video. Today is day 6 of the fast that this gentleman is undertaking. And here is his day 4 message. It's got a very important point that he's trying to make, that the Gorkhas are being enticed by the People's Liberation Army to fight for them against India. So let's take a quick look at that video.
ये आज मेरा चौथा दिन शुरू हो रहा है अनशन का, और खुले आसमान में तापमान यहाँ पर -16 के करीब था। आप देख रहे हैं ये जो गिलास पानी से भरा था ये पूरा जम गया है, और इस गिलास में तो एक विज्ञान का अनुसंधान हो गया है। ये भरा हुआ था कल रात को, अब ये उठकर ऊपर हो गया है, यानी कि जमने पर पानी का परिमाण, वॉल्यूम बढ़ जाता है। इससे दिखता है टेबल पर जो पानी गिरा वो सब जम के ऐसा हो गया है। ऐसे में हम अनशन कर रहे हैं, मगर सबसे हैरानी मुझे ये है कि आज तक जो मेन स्ट्रीम मीडिया है भारत की, उसने इस आंदोलन का जो उथल पुथल इस सीमा पर हो रही है इसका जरा भी जिक्र नहीं किया। सीमा पार से एक सीमा हैदर आती हैं तो उन पर सैकड़ों घंटे चर्चा होती है, मगर भारत, चीन और पाकिस्तान के सीमा पर लद्दाख, इस पर जीरो चर्चा है। आपको पता है, मेरे ख्याल से तो आज भारत के इस सीमा पर हमारे सैनिक सबसे कमजोर स्थिति में हैं, क्योंकि यहाँ पर सबसे बड़े लड़ाकू माने जाते हैं लद्दाख स्काउट्स, सिख रेजिमेंट्स और गुरखा रेजिमेंट्स। आज लद्दाख के सैनिकों का मनोबल टूटा है, ठेस पहुंचा है, क्योंकि लद्दाख को न लोकतंत्र दिया गया है न संरक्षण। और दूसरी तरफ सिख सैनिकों का मनोबल भी कमजोर है, क्योंकि जो पंजाब में आंदोलन हो रहे हैं उसका असर उन पे भी पड़ता है। और गुरखा सैनिक तो अग्निवीर के चलते 4 साल को वो नकार रहे हैं, और वो अब उससे भी बुरा क्या हो रहा है कि चीन की सेना में भर्ती होने जा रहे हैं। तो वही सैनिक जो हमारे शक्ति थी, जिनके बारे में ये कहा जाता है कि अगर कोई कहे कि मुझे मरने से डर नहीं लगता, तो वो या तो झूठ बोल रहा है या वो गुरखा है। आज वही गुरखा चीन की तरफ से हमसे लड़ेंगे। तो ऐसा उथल पुथल हो रहा है, मगर हमारी मेन स्ट्रीम मीडिया जरा भी चर्चा नहीं कर रही है। मेरी आपसे विनती है कि आप एक मीडिया बने और इन वीडियोस को शेयर करें और कहें इन हमारे भारत के मीडिया चैनल से, जो कि चौथी स्तंभ है, पिलर हैं डेमोक्रेसी के, कि वो अपना फर्ज निभाएं। मुझे नहीं समझ आता है वो रात को कैसे सोते होंगे इस तरह के दोगलापंथी में। मुझे उम्मीद है कि आप सब लद्दाख का समर्थन करेंगे, भारत की सीमा की सुरक्षा का समर्थन करेंगे, क्योंकि लद्दाख के संरक्षण में ही भारत की सुरक्षा है। धन्यवाद।
And that was Sonam Wangchuk. Colonel Raina, was he not an MP at some point in time?
No. He's been activist throughout his life.
Okay. So let's walk this thing through. One of the things, they're just asking for 3 things. First one is that 6th schedule was promised to them, but the government never followed through. And now they are going much slower. They're walking it slower. And what is the reason for that, according to you, Colonel Raina?
Okay, Shreeji, there are a few things in video which we'll discuss towards the end. I think because if we take up those points, then the main thing will take a backseat. Yeah, there are 4 demands. Like you mentioned, one is 6th schedule, which gives protection to certain tribal areas, their laws, culture, ecology, everything, all inclusive. Then there is statehood, demand for statehood with legislature. Third one is there was no recruitment happening since 2019. So because they didn't have a public service commission. This demand, as per my information, has been accepted by central government during latest talks. And they wanted 2 MPs, one from Kargil and one Leh. As we all know, the Ladakh, the huge 70% of geographical area of Jammu and Kashmir, though very less populated, has 2 districts, Ladakh and Kargil. Ladakh is predominantly Buddhist. Kargil is predominantly Shia Muslims. And they wanted, there's only 1 MP. And there are 4 MLAs out of 100 members, roughly 100 members of J&K Assembly. So statehood they wanted. Now they come down to the thing, okay, give us, they already have a UT, which was a long pending demand. And BJP manifesto did say that we will give them UT. UT was given when 370 was diluted and 35A was abrogated. But there's no legislature. No. Same is the issue with Jammu and Kashmir, UT of Jammu and Kashmir. There's no legislature. So when you don't have legislature, Shreeji, the only channel available to common citizen to voice their grievances or ask for something genuine or otherwise is via bureaucracy. Now, how bureaucracy works in India, we all know it. So for a common man, even to meet a bureaucrat of some significance, his peon won't allow him, let alone the bureaucrat. The peon who's standing outside will not allow a common man to walk into SDM's office, let alone DC or secretary and commissioners. Those, of course, they sit in a different place. Nobody can, normally people can't go. So this same issue has been felt in Jammu also and Kashmir also, that there is a need to have public figures, politicians, good, bad, ugly, whatever they are, they come from us, through which people can go and make their voice reach the highest authority. So when you have an MP or MLA from your area, so you can at least go and catch him on the road. That MLA is also sensitive because he knows he has to get elected again, so he'll listen to you. Then he may go and speak to bureaucrats, he may go and speak to Lieutenant Governor. That's part. At least I, as a common citizen, I'm assured that I have put across point to somebody who's in the chain of authority, and my voice will probably reach somewhere. Aaj ki date mein what is happening? There's a bureaucrat and you, nobody in between. So for a common person, it's a big issue. So they wanted statehood with legislature. Population is very small, areas quite a bit. So now they diluted it, UT is legislature. So Jammu and Kashmir, as per Supreme Court ruling, when they endorsed 370 thing, they said have elections by September 2024. So that thing is not happening in Ladakh. So there's a reason that issue comes up. Now, Shiriji, there's a legacy issue. Ladakh and Jammu. Ladakh is biggest in area, like I said, small population, and Jammu again number 2 in geographical area, and more population. Till the time 2011 data was fudged, and Kashmir was shown as more populated. So these two areas were on the receiving end of that. Kashmiri government, a leadership based of Kashmir, chief minister used to from Kashmir. So everything and anything used to happen used to go to Kashmir. Funds were getting diverted. So we both suffered, Jammu and Ladakh. But Ladakh suffered more. All these years, 7 decades plus, they don't have a university. Now it has come up. The university which has come up has no affiliation. So this is again a half-hearted kind of a step. Like I said, only 4 MLAs out of 124 in our assembly. You take out 24 odd of POJK. So 100 MLAs out of the only 4. 2 MLCs and 1 MP. They've been exploited. It's been a story of decades of exploitation. There's no doubt about that. So much so that Kargil belt grows apples, but those apples couldn't go because they had to come out of Kashmir. So Kashmiri traders had cartelized against Kargil apples. So they couldn't sell it there. So where do they go? They'll consume it, and then whatever is not consumed will be spoiled. So there were 2 hill councils, Leh and Kargil. But those hill councils now don't have any existence. Bureaucracy as usual, like I already mentioned. The problem happens with bureaucracy is that 90% of funds which are coming to Ladakh today, it's not that funds are not being given to Ladakh. Earlier, funds were not coming when there was a Kashmir government because Ladakh was part of administrative province of Kashmir. Jammu and Kashmir had 3 provinces, Jammu, Kashmir and Ladakh. But administratively, we had only 2 provinces, Jammu and Kashmir. And Ladakh was put under Kashmir. So that time, of course, they hardly got any funds, nothing. But after 2019 development, funds were coming, but only 10% were being used through local panchayats and local bodies, and 90% were being used by bureaucrats. The problem in Ladakh, Shiriji, is today, Twitter, many people got after me. They said, what's so special? There's a working season of only 4 months. If you don't construct between, say, June and maybe April and July, the cement doesn't set. Moment temperature starts getting sub-zero in the night, you cannot construct. So if you have 4 working months in 1 year, how do you expect to spend 6,000 crores in 1 year when there's no plan? So it happened last 2 years that 6,000 rupees were lapsed. Funds allotted, not used. Only 10% used, only through panchayats. No gazetted officer has been recruited in Ladakh for last 4 years. Unemployment naturally has come up. And empowerment, like I said, they have a University of Ladakh, which is neither a state university nor a central university nor part of a cluster university. So what is the status of the university? You get a degree from there, then you go where? What is the recognition? Air connectivity, there's so much of tourism now happening. Ladakh has actually undergone a lot of change last 5-6 years. Since the time they started getting electricity. Earlier there was no electricity. 2012, when I left Ladakh, there was no electricity. Only 3 to 4 hours in the evening on a generator. So you couldn't even plug in your heater. Minus 30 degrees outside. So whatever people are saying now, they've woken up. Suddenly, those who are in love with president's establishment, I'm also in love with Modi Saab. But whatever is wrong has to be called out. So those who are sitting far away may not realize I have served there. I have friends there, so I can say with a certain amount of commitment that Ladakh has seen a lot of bad days. Now with 370 going and 2019 development, a lot of hopes came up. BJP manifesto had mentioned that we'll give you Schedule 6. And now, when the talks started, when they started protests last year, so there was a first round of talks which happened in December. I believe when these people went all the way to Delhi, the person dealing there said, where is your written application? Please bring it. So that was the first meeting. You don't bring people all the way from Leh to Delhi and then ask them, where is that kind of application? I mean, you don't need applications. This demand and agitation has been going on since last year, I think March or April. And this meeting happens in December. The fact that meeting has been called, that is itself enough to prove that people in Delhi knew what they're asking for. And still they wanted, and that the meeting was dismissed. So they went in first week of January, there's a huge protest in Ladakh. January means -20, -30 in the night. and there were 20,000 people who came on the road. And then hopes came, the next meeting, which was scheduled on 19th of February. Some headway will be made, because firstly, code of conduct is going to come in any time, and this is the only window which government had. And this time when they went, they've been told that, okay, Public Service Commission, the employment thing we'll see. And like I said, they also watered down their statehood to UT with the legislature. That not been accepted yet. Legislature is something they need. And they said, we give you 371. Now 371 is, Schedule 6 is part of Article 244. Now 371 is a similar thing, but what Schedule 6 gives you is, it empowers local districts, district councils and regional councils. So they decide everything from utilization of funds to whatever is going to develop, where the industry is going to come up, whether industry is needed or not. So they have full control over territory. And Shiriji, 90% population of Ladakh is scheduled tribe. And yet this area has not been declared as ST area. Now, can you really have a justification for, either you don't declare them scheduled tribe, you've given them a status of scheduled tribe. So you are scheduled tribe, 90% of you live in an area which is not scheduled tribe. So that is a argument being given, which doesn't stand the logic. You have even today the bureaucrats from Jammu and Kashmir going to Ladakh on posting, so-called punishment posting. Nobody wants to go to Leh. So like I said, there was no gazetted officer recruited in last 4 years. So all those vacancies in Ladakh are being covered by moving people from J&K, now Jammu and Kashmir UT, to Ladakh. So man from outside goes, he cries, laughs, whatever he does for 2 years, comes back. So this is, and more than that, government itself has a commission on scheduled tribes. That commission recommended to government in 2019 that please give this area a status and put them in Schedule 6. Schedule 6 is something which is already existing in Mizoram, in Manipur. There are many states, Assam, part of Assam. Schedule 5 is also a similar thing. So the thing remains that when it comes to Ladakh, firstly, if you've committed a thing in writing, BJP is known for keeping the electoral promises. Then why are you now saying, okay, we can't give you Schedule 6, let's give you 371? Somebody on Twitter today got after me. They said, Ladakhis want this because they don't want to give land to army. So I didn't want to respond to the gentleman. Let me tell you here, people on this, through your platform, that a huge core headquarters, which is in Leh, it is now part of Leh city. Virtually, there's just one road dividing. That whole land is with army without any sanction, any permission. So army and Ladakhis have lived together for decades. They fought together. They helped each other. In fact, when life in Leh becomes very, very difficult, the only way, now things have changed. The only air connectivity was through army aircraft. So civilians were given seats on concession rates. They used to go. The vegetable which army used to get during winters to Leh, part of it was given to civil administration for sale to locals. So that has been the connect. So when people say that these developments have happened because they got UT status, now they're asking for more. No, they are still okay with UT with the legislature. I don't find anything wrong with that. They're asking for their own recruitment. Again, nothing wrong. I believe government has given them insurance, we'll give you 80% reservation of seats or something. But Schedule 6 is something which, I don't know why you're so possessive. You're given to other states. Either you remove the schedule. If you find the schedule is outlived its life, then please amend the constitution, kill it. If you not killed it, it's part of our constitution. It's happening in other states. Then why can't you give it to a state which region which has 90% scheduled tribe population? So these are a few things which I mean, to my mind, I don't find a logic. There's only one MP seat. There are people who are saying, so what? BJP will lose one seat. It's not a matter of losing one seat. You are not only losing one seat, you're losing the goodwill. And you're handing over that seat to somebody from the opposition party. Opposition parties, we know what can they do. When Galwan happened, this our main opposition party posted videos from Galwan, from Ladakh, of a farmer. He's plowing his fields and saying, look at those mountains. These are my areas, grazing ground, the Chinese have taken it. There's no human population for more than 250 kilometers from Galwan. And this farmer later on turned out to be, his Facebook was searched by people, and he turned out to be a functionary of Congress party. So if you want to hand over political control of that area, you want to lose the goodwill of the place, and you want to just act, I know in what way, refusing to oblige, refusing to even keep your own promise. then they have reasons to creep. So this is my stand on this, that the demand is genuine. What government is doing after having made the promise is not justified. This is how I look at it, Shri.
Colonel Raina, see what happens sometimes is when something gets handed down to a bureaucrat to go through and come up with likes and better, what is better to do, like for example Schedule 6. It's possible that in the northeastern states it may have had 5 benefits and 1 drawback. Depending on how they present it up, right? That one drawback could be made to look like it's like a no-go issue kind of stuff. So this Prime Minister has like 10 seconds to make up his mind one way or the other. So it's all in how you present it, how well you balance it out and say that yes, these are good benefits, these are the ones. So Article 371, I have no idea the compare and contrast of these two. But if the local Ladakhis want that, why don't you give it to them? Like you said, the Scheduled Tribe Commission thing, that's a no-brainer. That should be in there. If they are already scheduled tribes, give it to them.
Yeah.
And I have seen some videos that breaks my heart. Like the family has to take their children to a place to study and they don't come back for 9 months. I mean, you're talking about 6-year-old and 5-year-old going across like a very dangerous mountain passage, then, into wilderness, and the other side is where the school is, and the father goes or the mother goes, drops them there and comes back for 9 months. They don't see their children. This is the kind of stuff that is there. And that is really, really sad. I think we need to start listening more. So there's a bigger challenge there that I saw. What is this thing about the Gurkhas being enticed by the PLA to fight on their behalf? Why do the Gurkhas not like Agniveer?
Okay, Shirji, I know this thing must be bugging you like it's bugging the complete statement. Mr. Wangchuk is a very respected man in Ladakh, and he's done a lot of things for Ladakh. He's done a lot of things for Indian Army. Let's acknowledge it. He's a kind of a celebrity. I think the most well-known face outside Ladakh, from Ladakh, he's the one. So naturally, a person who becomes very famous also has some kind of controversy attached. So I'll not get into that. There are people who have different views. But this particular statement, including your point, I'll come to that. I think he shouldn't have done this. He shouldn't have said what he said. Firstly, Ladakh Scouts, Army has a very different way of working. If somebody says that tomorrow China attacks and Ladakh Scouts will say we'll not fight, that doesn't happen in Indian Army. We have certain, whether you are Ladakh Scouts or you are Gadwal Scouts or you are 𝙥𝙘𝙬 or 𝙥𝙘𝙬, which has almost 50% troops coming in Jammu and Kashmir, there's never been a case where they refuse to do their duty. This is a wrong thing to say. But reference to Punjab, again wrong thing to say, because Punjabis did do that propaganda this time. They got a person, nobody knows who's he, but he was wearing a combat jacket and he was trying to incite people. So by doing this, Mr. Wangchuk, I don't know, intentionally or unintentionally, has actually harmed this a very peaceful agitation, which has very positive vibes from all across India. People like you and me are saying that they should be given a due. But this statement saying that Sikhs are upset and this shouldn't have been made. This is in a bad taste. Let's, with due regards to him, whatever liking I have for him or not, that keeping aside, and my Ladakhi friends who are listening, let's accept it. This is a wrong thing to say on such a stage. So rightfully, then people started saying that he's peddling Chinese propaganda. Coming to Gurkhas. So Gurkhas, we have two kinds of Gurkhas, Indian and Nepal. Nepali Gurkhas have this issue with Agniveer because they don't want to come for 4 years and go back. So be it. I mean, as a country, our preference should be our own people. We have millions of Gurkhas living in our own states, and the latest Agniveer recruitment which has happened of Gurkha rifles has come from our own Gurkhas. So there's nothing like by Nepal. Of course, the talk is still on. And this also brings me to another belief which he mentioned, that there's a warrior communities in India, which is all British plot. The way South Indian troops have Madras regiments performed in battle and elsewhere, is those who don't know the history, they will like to believe that certain communities are martial communities and certain communities are just, they are nothing. The fact remains, people who corroborated with British in 1857 and killed our own Indians, all those communities were given status of, including my own community, Dogra community. I have no shame in saying that. they were given the status of martial community, and those who were heroes before that from UP, Bihar, Bengal, they were sidelined and never recruited. So let's not get into that zone. So Gurkhas, we have enough Gurkhas to fulfill our own requirements, and that is already happening. In a way, I look at it the way, why should we get blackmailed? See, China is making inroads in Nepal. It's better to have your own people. Why create a situation where you have troops who go back home and Nepali troops get 4 months of leave? They have a facility where they can club 2 months leave in 1 year, so they can club 2 years leave together. So they're away into hinterland of Nepal for 4 years. In 4 years, if a Gurkha goes back and gets exposed to a Chinese guy there or person who has affiliation in China, chances of him getting subverted are very, very high. So what does the logic say? Logic says, let's pick up Gurkhas who are our own, who live in Dehradun, who live elsewhere, and they are our own citizens. So Gurkha rifles is not going to suffer. And if these Gurkhas think, the Nepali Gurkhas, that they will go to China and China will look after them and use them treat them the way they treat their own hands, then is their wishful thinking. I don't have to anything say. So here I don't agree with Mr. Wangchuk. He's actually damaged this agitation. He shouldn't have done this. And Gurkhas, I said, no, there's no point. Let them go. We are seeing Indians now being found in Russian army. There are a few Namonas will be there. China is always reaching out to Nepalis. So it's all the more reason that we have our own Gurkhas, manning our own Gurkha regiments. In any case, Indian Army is now reorganizing itself. The ethnicity-based, caste-based regiments are now getting mixed up. There's a good reason. We have learned few lessons from past. So in any case, all this will be history. And those who don't like Agniveer, Shiriji, I'll just tell you a small thing. I'm a veteran myself. People are comparing Agniveer as with conscription, which is 2 years come and go. It's not that. You are giving commanding officer a chance to pick up the best of the lot you have and retain them for the rest of their service for 20 years more. Till now, when I was commanding, let's face it, and veterans who are listening to this broadcast, let them say honestly, we always had, in the best of the units, we always had some percentage of men who didn't have the inclination of being good soldiers. In the sense, they would look for soft duties. We had buddies, so there are people who like to do buddy duties. There are few who are more comfortable in doing duties in, like running a CSG store or things like that. So as a CO, I always thought that the best of the lot, there's in a regiment, when you're commanding, you have best people, then you have good people, and then you have okay people. And below that, there's always 10% people who are there just passengers, I would call them. They come some out of pressure, peer pressure, parental pressure, whatever, and they were not getting in jobs, so came in. So if those people are being shed today, and now we are getting all 100% over, imagine a battalion, they get people, CO selects 25 best ones. The feedback from the unit is that these recruits, when they are now joining Agniveer guys, they are so, full of josh. They want to prove themselves from day one. Unlike our days, a recruit will come and you won't even see him for many days. He'll be hidden in somewhere, put somewhere on duty. Now these recruits are competing with each other. So at the end of the tenure, the best will stay back, that enrich our army. And when they look at the whole reorganization thing, when ethnicity based and all these things are going, so it's a good step. Shiriji, not to worry. But Mr. Sonam, my appeal to you, don't do this. This doesn't help.
Thank you so much, sir. And that was a very, very well explained situation about Ladakh. Some are just demands, the others are just unfortunate that they are getting clubbed here, because that is not what the Ladakhis want. So let's stay with that. And thank you so much, sir. We have a couple of questions from our viewers. JBJP, thank you so much. Should Jammu Statehood and Ladakh Statehood both be considered together by central government to give justice to Jammu and Ladakh after 75 years for Dogras, Ladakhis, and so on?
Ladakhis were settled with, if you give them legislature, restore their hill councils or equivalent, I think they'll be happy with the UT status. And given the fact that they have very less population, even 2 MPs don't really justify. So they'll be okay with that. I'm sure if you give them legislature, the political leadership, they'll be okay. UT with legislation. As regard Jammu, Jammu deserves to be state, but then we also understand compulsion at the macro level. When if you detach Kashmir and keep it as UT and make Jammu a state, then at some level the message which goes out is, which is already propagandized against India, that Kashmir is being ruled from Delhi. So in that case, it will be, even today, we say, okay, Jammu and Kashmir being ruled from Delhi, though we have our own MP elections, we have Panchayat elections, we have BDC, DDC, all elections. So there's a complexity here. But if you just say tick boxes, Jammu needs to have its own statehood. There's no doubt. Kashmir is not big enough to have a statehood status. So I think ideally should be state, Jammu state, Kashmir UT, Ladakh UT, and everybody state, of course, and both the UTs with legislation. Legislation is something, Shri, even I am feeling after last 4 years that you need. You need these politicians, whatever they may be, good, bad, ugly, corrupt, honest, you need them. Bureaucracy is difficult. It doesn't work.
Thank you so much, Colonel Raina. Oh, there's one more question. Sorry. Bhakti Kulkarni wants to know, Namaskar, Colonel Saab, and congratulations, Sree ji, for 500,000 subscribers. Thank you so much. Dhanyosmi. It's all because of guests like Colonel Raina. They bring such a new, fresh perspective to old issues and also solutions. It's not just showing issues, also suggesting solutions. So it's because of you, the viewer, as well as all our esteemed guests that we have gotten here. We need to get to 1 million. And that's when I think that we can have even one more step ahead. We can have professional studio kind of an atmosphere to get you even better programming quality of content. I think the content is okay right now. We need to improve the quality at it right now. So give us a few more days, few more subscribers. Do refer us to your friends and relatives. We are Nishpaksh. If you look at Twitter, the handle of Colonel Raina, he says he is part of Modi Parivar. But he's not afraid to say that some things that, I hold the Modi government responsible. That's how it should be. That is the job of a journalist. A fourth estate that's what it's supposed to do. We are supposed to keep the politicians on their toes. So that's what we are trying to do. Thank you once again, Colonel Raina ji. Namaskar. And we'll be seeing you again next Monday.
Sure. Yeah, and once again, congratulations for 500,000.
Thank you, sir.
Very soon, 1 million. Ganesha willing. Thank you.